Most ransom notes are written to achieve something: money, control, time. But the note left inside the Ramsey home wasn't written to get something. It was written to explain something. It was long. It was theatrical. It referenced movies. It shifted voices. And it lingered. And it was written inside a home where a 6-year-old child lay dead. Tonight we examine the JonBenét Ramsey note, not to decide who wrote it, but to understand how it was written, why it reads the way that it does, and what it reveals psychologically about the person behind it. This is the Midnight Mystery Archive, and this is part 4 of the JonBenét Ramsey investigation. Welcome back to the Midnight Mystery Archive. This episode is going to be a little slow in its delivery. That's because the ransom note is not something you skim. It's something you sit with. Investigators have spent decades arguing about the ransom note in the JonBenét Ramsey case, not because it's confusing, but because it is revealing in ways that don't point clearly in one direction. Tonight, we are going to walk through it the way that profilers, linguists, and behavioral analysts do, carefully, deliberately, and without rushing to a conclusion. The ransom note was discovered by Patsy Ramsey at approximately 5:52 a.m. on December 26, 1996. According to Boulder police reports, it was placed on the spiral staircase leading down from the family's bedrooms, a location that Patsy used every single morning. The note was written on a legal pad from inside the home. The pen used came from inside the home. And after writing the note, the pen was placed back where it belonged. Investigators also found practice pages, discarded drafts. Journalist Lawrence Schiller in Perfect Murder, Perfect Town emphasizes something crucial here. The author did not rush. This wasn't someone scribbling under pressure. This was someone who took time to compose, adjust, and refine. Former FBI profiler John Douglas has repeatedly said that intruders committing high-risk crimes do not linger unnecessarily, because time equals danger. Yet this note suggests comfort, familiarity, and a belief that interruption was unlikely. That alone narrows the behavioral field considerably. Before we analyze this note further, we need context. According to FBI kidnapping case studies referenced by John Douglas and the Behavioral Analysis Unit, real ransom notes share consistent traits. They are short, they're transactional, they avoid emotional language, they minimize exposure. Most are fewer than 100 words. They contain a demand, a method, a threat, and very little else. They do not explain themselves. They do not perform authority. They do not tell a story. Douglas has said plainly, kidnappers want compliance, not conversation. Now remember that, because the JonBenet note does the opposite of almost every one of those things. The JonBenet ransom note is approximately 370 words long. That length alone makes it an anomaly. According to FBI behavioral literature, excessive verbosity in criminal communication often indicates a few things: anxiety masked as control, overcompensation, emotional involvement, rehearsal. Long notes introduce contradictions. They reveal personality. They leak psychology. This note doesn't just instruct, it performs. It reads less like a demand and more like a script. Let's slow down here and listen to how the note sounds. The note opens with authority. Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. This is not a demand for money. It's a demand for attention. Forensic linguists note that exaggerated authority often appears when the writer feels uncertain and is attempting to establish dominance immediately. Then the note shifts. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. This phrase has become infamous, but here's why it matters. According to forensic linguist Dr. Roger Shuey, vague group identification often appears in staged communications because real groups do not need to explain their existence. This line doesn't increase fear, it increases credibility theater. Then the voice shifts again, becoming personal. It is up to you now, John. That familiarity, the use of John's name, collapses the distance the note claims to create. This is not the language of an unknown enemy. It is the language of someone who knows him. The phrase foreign faction has no ideological content, no demands, no cause, no grievance. According to Schiller and FBI consultants, this is significant. Groups with real agendas announce them. They justify themselves. They explain why. This note does none of that. John Douglas has said the phrasing feels borrowed, not authentic. It sounds like someone imagining what a real threat should sound like, not someone delivering one. Investigators quickly noticed parallels between the Ransom note and dialogue from action films, including Dirty Harry, Speed, Ransom. Phrases like, "If we catch you talking to a stray dog," mirror movie dialogue almost word for word. Former detective Steve Thomas argues this suggests the author was relying on pop culture templates rather than criminal experience. Criminal psychologists call this script borrowing. It's common in offenders who fantasize, rehearse, and model behavior on fictional portrayals. This does not read like professional criminal communication. It reads like someone performing a role. Then there's the ransom amount, $118,000, which matches John Ramsey's recent Christmas bonus. Schiller confirms this detail was not public knowledge. Experts disagree on its meaning. But here's the overlooked point. The amount never changes. There is no escalation. There is no negotiation language. In real ransom cases, demands adjust. Leverage increases. Communication continues. Here, the number behaves less like a demand and more like a symbol. And symbols matter in staging. The note gives detailed instructions. Withdraw money early. Bring an attaché. Wait for a call. But no call ever came. No delivery location was provided. And the victim was already dead. According to FBI consultants, this is critical. Real kidnappers seek control and continuation. This note seeks explanation after the fact. It creates a narrative that cannot occur. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation concluded Patsy Ramsey could not be eliminated as the author of the ransom note. But Lawrence Schiller emphasizes, handwriting analysis is subjective. Disguise is common, and stress can alter writing style. Experts note similarities in punctuation, spacing, and rhythm, but no definitive match has ever been reached. What matters more is not who wrote it, but how it was written. The pacing, the verbosity, the tone, those speak louder than letter shapes. Across behavioral literature, certain traits appear repeatedly in staged communications. Things like over-explaining, performative threats, shifting tone, emotional leakage. This note exhibits all of those things. It does not sound calm. It sounds controlled, which is not the same thing. It sounds like someone trying to regain control. Let's pause here. Here's what the note tells us with certainty. 1. The author had time. 2. The author felt safe. 3. The author wanted to be believed. 4. The author over-explained. 5. The author performed authority instead of exercising it. Those are psychological facts. Those are not theories. To this day, the experts still disagree on the ransom note in JonBenet's case. Steve Thomas sees staging. John Douglas sees behavioral contradiction. Mary Lacey prioritized DNA over the linguistics of the note. And forensic linguists warn against overconfidence. Each discipline sees something different in the note. And that is why the note remains unresolved nearly 30 years later. The JonBenet ransom note does not tell us who killed her, but it tells us something just as important. This was not a crime driven by efficiency. It was driven by psychology. Until the author of that note is identified definitively, this case will remain suspended, not because of missing evidence, but because the evidence refuses to speak with one singular voice. Next time in Part 5, we examine what happened when this note met the media and how narrative replaced investigation. This has been the Midnight Mystery Archive and Part 4 of the JonBenet Ramsey case. Now, for those of you who are listening, number one, I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast. I ask you to do me a favor. Do the podcast a favor. Go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, and leave us a review. That helps us with the algorithms, and it helps the show get pushed to more new listeners. Another thing, MidnightMysteryArchive.com is live now. You can stream episodes from the website. But the thing I wanted to call out specifically is there's a Submit a Case tab. If you have a case you want me to cover on the podcast, click that Submit a Case link, send me the information, and I'll look into it. In addition to that, I have also started a Facebook group. Go there, follow the podcast. That will be a place for us to discuss the cases that we cover on the program, but it'll also be a place for us to discuss true crime cases in the news. I wanted to share one more announcement. In early March, the Midnight Mystery Archive will begin releasing a 12-part investigative series examining a widely discussed missing person case. This will be developed in cooperation with the family. There'll be more details to come soon. Thank you for listening. Until next time.